Well, hello there. Welcome to Jimmy's Records and Tapes. I'm Jimmy Pardo. This week we're talking about 1993.
We've got it on vinyl, CD and cassette.
We've got pop, rock, heavy metal, punk, funk, rap, and new wave. All sales are vinyl, but you'll never regret all the music you get at Jimmy's Records and Tapes.
I'm loving music again.
Hey, welcome to this week's Jimmy's Records and Tapes. Records and Tapes are behind me. I'm the Jimmy part of that story. 1993 is what we're going to be talking about. Let's talk about what was happening in the world in 1993. Well, there was the siege on the Branch Davidians compound in Waco, Texas, that I remember watching live with my mother. It was her day off. I was off the road for that day, and I remember yelling, "It's happening, Ma!" As if we were waiting for it to happen. As if we were, it was chat all around the house of, what do you think the Waco thing was going to go down? Well, I yelled out, "It's happening, Ma," in a way that still confuses me. Speaking of my mom, she collected them, as I think a lot of folks did. The Beanie Baby debuted in 1993, and Dyson, finally, somebody released the first bagless cyclonic vacuum. Finally. We were all going, it's doing a nice job, but boy, would I like a bagless cyclonic. That's really what I need right now. And I've had a bagless cyclonic, and I also saw them at Bonnaroo. Any one of my 9 jokes you can insert right here. What does your money get you in 1993? Well, gas is going to cost you $1.16 a gallon. A house is going to cost you $113,200. And let's say you want to attend Harvard. Well, that's going to set you back $23,514. Which, I don't understand how colleges work. I got to imagine that's gone down by now. So get in now when you get a chance to go to Harvard. On TV, 60 Minutes was your top-rated show, along with Home Improvement and Seinfeld. And if you went to the movie theaters, you probably enjoyed Schindler's List, Jurassic Park, or The Firm, which is a book that I read in, I want to say, 31 hours. I did not sleep, and I read The Firm all the way through. And just like the cliche, the movie, not as good as the book. The top song of 1993 was I Will Always Love You by Whitney Houston. Boy, you couldn't go anywhere without hearing that song. You still can't. Beautiful song. And that's spot on. I don't know how it sounded through the speakers on your computer or your phone, but here in the studio, that was spot on. Top selling album was the soundtrack that Whitney Houston's The Bodyguard. The Grammy Awards. Toni Braxton was the Best New Artist, and the Album of the Year went to the aforementioned Bodyguard soundtrack, because again, that thing was everywhere, right? The Dolly Parton penned song that everybody was amazed. Can you believe that was made by Dolly Parton? Yes, she's a good songwriter. But Whitney brought it to new heights, didn't she, with that? And oh, man, here in the studio, it sounds like I'm a cast member of The White Shadows singing in the bathroom after basketball practice. That's how good that sounded here in the room. The album I'm going to be talking about today is Toby Keith's first album. Now, this is before Toby Keith went nuts and put a flag all over his body. I had a horrible breakup. This is some foreshadowing. In 1994, I had a horrible breakup, so I didn't discover this album until 1994, but it was released in 93, and that's why I'm talking about it today. It has some heart-wrenching songs on here. You punch you in the gut, especially if you went through a breakup. It had a song called Wish I Didn't Know Now, which goes, I wish I didn't know now what I didn't know then, which is about, hey, somebody might be cheating on you, but you're dumb and you're living your life not knowing, and then you find out about it and it kicks you in the balls. He Ain't Worth Missing, which admittedly I used to sing in the car, and I would change the gender to She Ain't Worth Missing to make it more personal, and then drive my car into a pole. There's also a song called Mama Come Quick, which is a really a nice song that is pretty self-explanatory if you listen to it, but it's about getting hurt all through your life. You fall down and you need your mom to come and help you, and then eventually you're going through a horrible breakup, and then you still got to run to mom for help. Yeah, little mama's boy. Well, I did. All right. And anyway, Toby Keith captured that magic for me via, probably at the time, cassette is how I would listen to it. It went to the Billboard Country Chart, went all the way to number 17, and it cracked the Hot 100 by going in at number 99. Anyway, this song, and the song, especially the Wish I Didn't Know Now, but I still like that. I like this whole album. I still think it's a good album. And what was happening in my life in 93, I was in that relationship, which would then go belly up in 94. And I started opening up for, as a stand-up, I started opening up for famous people on the road, which is a pretty cool thing to have happen. Like I opened up for Robert Klein, one of my heroes, Paul Reiser, one of my heroes, now friend. But my favorite story about opening up for somebody famous was I had the chance to open up for the legendary Shelley Berman, who, if I'm not mistaken, won the first Grammy for a comedy album. If that's not accurate, we'll put the corrected info just to my right over here. I was working in Las Vegas, Nevada, opening up for Shelley, and we had 2 shows a night. That's how Vegas worked, man. And I did my show, and I was getting along with Shelley. This was on a Thursday night. We were there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night, and getting along with Shelley. But I kind of came down with a little illness as the week was going on, probably from all the cigarette smoke in the casino. And so after the second show, I told, after I came off stage, I said to Shelley and his beautiful wife and the showroom manager and such, and Carl, the sound guy, I said, you know what, I'm just going to head back to the room, and I'll see everybody tomorrow. And I took off my sport coat and put it down to have this conversation. And then I got caught up talking to some people. And in the meantime, Shelley gets introduced onto the stage, and Shelley is having a tough set. And by the way, if you don't know, Shelley Berman ended up being on Curb Your Enthusiasm, and he's a legend. He's a legend. May have been the first to do the phone call, the one-sided phone call bit. And he is on stage, and it's not going well. And he always kills Shelley Berman. And it's not going well. It's like, boy, that's weird. It's weird. And so I said to the sound guy, what's going on, man? Why is it so bad? He goes, yeah, it's weird. He's just not doing all that well. And so I said, all right, I'll see everybody tomorrow. And I went to grab my sport coat, and it wasn't there. And I was like, well, where's my sport coat? What happened to my sport coat? I just put my sport coat down right there. And Carl, the sound guy, goes to his booth and slides the window and goes, hey, wait a sec. Uh-oh. And there's Shelley Berman on stage wearing my sport coat. Shelley is a taller man than I, so the sleeves kind of hit him like there was a baseball jersey length sleeve. So his shirt's sticking out of the bottom of the sleeve, and he's up there, and it's buttoned, and it's not, it almost looks like the button's going to pop off and hit somebody in the eye in the front row. Like, it's ill-fitting. And it's like, oh no, he's wearing my jacket. So I run into the showroom to say to his wife, I said, has he acknowledged he's wearing the wrong coat? And she goes, no, what are you? Oh, no! Like, that loud, she said it. And so now I can't go to my room because I got to wait to discuss this with Shelley Berman and how insane it is that he wore the wrong sport coat. So Shelley ends his set, and he walks off in a pile of sweat because it was not a great show. And I said, hey, Shelley, what do you think of that sport coat? And he goes, what? What the hell? And I said, yeah, you're wearing my sport coat. And nobody thought to tell me? He goes, oh, just make the old man look dumb, huh? The old man looks dumb. And I said, Shelley, I go, would you rather I have opened up the stage door and said, Shelley, it's the wrong coat, and made you look dumb in front of everybody? He's like, no, I guess you're right. But then he still got mad at me, and he was mad at me. So the next day I get a phone call from his wife in my hotel room. Hey, sorry that Shelley lost his temper last night, but you know how it could be when you have a bad, I 100% understand. I show up to the showroom the next day. There's Shelley. It's showtime, about 5 minutes before showtime. And Shelley says, hey, I just want to apologize for how I acted yesterday. I overreacted. You know, as comedians, we should laugh when something like that happens, right? Camaraderie. We're all in this together, and that was ridiculous, and I should have had fun with that instead of gotten angry about it. I said, no problem, Shelley. If I ever make panel on a talk show one day, I'll tell that story and it'll kill. If you ever tell that story to anybody, I swear to God! And he went nuts on me again, and that is my Shelley Berman story. It's now time for this week's quick hit. It is Pat Benatar's Everybody Lay Down. It comes off of her Gravity's Rainbow album that you probably never even knew existed until I just told you about it. This song, Everybody Lays Down, went to number 3 on the mainstream rock chart. I bought this album, not unlike last week's quick hit. I recognize the artist's name. I like Pat Benatar. I probably had a crush on Pat Benatar. Her voice is amazing. The songs are amazing. So why wouldn't I enjoy Pat Benatar? I saw the cassette when I was on the road, and I bought Gravity's Rainbow, and it is my favorite Pat Benatar album. It's fantastic. Her whole catalog is terrific, but this album in particular, and maybe it's where I was in life, man, but I think it's a great album, and I recommend that you check it out. And I could only assume by the time that we record this, she would have been inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and if she's not, it's ridiculous. Thank you so much for watching this week's Jimmy's Records and Tapes. If you liked it, click that like button. Tell your friends about it. Spread the word, my man or lady, my brothers and sisters. I'm on Twitter at Jimmy Pardo. Also, go over to my website, jimmypardo.com, and check out tour dates or videos or buy yourself some merch, whatever you want to do. I also host the award-winning podcast, Never Not Funny, so if you like this little snippet, come check that out for more of it. Until then, the record's back in its sleeve.